Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Ches Thompson. I'm the Dean of the School of Health Sciences, and it's a pleasure for me to welcome you all to American International College for our celebration weekend, as we try to call it. I'd like to welcome all of you, family, friends, and other guests, and primarily give a congratulatory, another round of applause to our graduating class of the Master of Science in Occupational Therapy. I know they've been waiting a long time for this, especially students who have been with us for 5 years, and the students who have been with us for the past 3. I know family and friends have been probably waiting a long time for this as well. We are very proud of all of our students within the School of Health Sciences. In addition to occupational therapy, we have physical therapy, we have nursing, and our newest program is public health. So we're having celebrations all throughout today and tomorrow morning up until commencement begins. So it's a wonderful weekend for us to recognize all the hard work that our faculty and our students have done throughout the year. Before I invite our Vice President to come up, I just also want to recognize the faculty. Your sons and daughters have been really well prepared for the for occupational therapy, and we have a wonderful group of faculty that I'd like to just take a minute and recognize. You might have heard the names, but you may not know the phases. So this is your opportunity. So starting on my immediate left, I'd like to recognize our brand new Doctor of Occupational Therapy, Dr. Allison Sullivan. Allison has been with us for quite a while, but she just completed her doctorate in occupational therapy. So another degree for your son and daughter to look forward to achieving. Next to her is Professor Sarah Waters. You're going to have to stand up. Dr. Saeed Nafai. Dr. Patricia Myers. And Dr. Kate Barlow. I'd like to call up now our new Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Raj Parikh.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Good morning. What a gorgeous day and what a joyous day. Isn't it wonderful to be here to celebrate the academic success of these folks that have worked very hard and deserve all the applause that they receive today and tomorrow. On behalf of President Maniaci and the other faculty and staff at this college, I welcome you all to this celebration. I welcome all the students to the alumni tomorrow, and I take a great deal of pride in what our faculty have done to prepare these men and women for careers in occupational therapy. I'm really looking forward to hearing stories of your success as you move on, and pass on this glorious tradition of high quality academics to those that come after you. Thank you very much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Dr. Parikh. I'd like now to call Dr. Allison Sullivan. I'm going to have to say that a few times so I get used to it, and she gets used to it, to give us some program introductory remarks. Dr. Sullivan.
Thank you so much, Dean Thompson. Well, congratulations. It is an honor to represent the OT faculty in having the opportunity to share some thoughts with you today as we recognize your accomplishments in completing the rigorous requirements of our MSOT program. Your class has a special and dear place in my heart as we have both been together on the path to our graduations this year. I appreciate having this chance to share words that have inspired me on this journey in the hopes that they will remain with you as a source of inspiration as we continue our careers and go our separate ways. I would like to start with a quote from my favorite passage from David Foster Wallace's essay, "This is Water, Some Thoughts Delivered on a Significant Occasion about Living a Compassionate Life," which he wrote and delivered for the first time as a commencement address. It goes like this: "Our present culture has harnessed forces in ways that have yielded extraordinary wealth and comfort and personal freedom. This kind of freedom has much to recommend it. But of course, there are all different kinds of freedom, and the kind that is most precious you will not much hear talked about in the great world of winning and achieving and displaying. The really important kind of freedom involves attention and awareness and discipline and being able truly to care about other people and to sacrifice for them over and over in myriad petty little unsexy ways every day. That is real freedom." With this thought in mind, I would also like to share some words I first came across in one of the evidence-based practice reviews I completed during my doctoral program. In their 2007 article, McAllister, Tower, and Walker notes citing Ironside in 2004, in the time-constrained, complex, specialized field of clinical practice, there may be a tendency to emphasize the technical skills and overlook the humanities and ethics of care. Technical skill acquisition serves the interests of health service efficiency and management, but it may not always serve the interests of a caring community. What this means is that in the settings in which you will work, it will be unlikely that you will be provided with formal opportunities to develop practice skills such as self-reflection, ethical reasoning, and providing compassionate care. Luckily for your future clients, however, there is evidence across domains of allied health practice literature indicating that students who experience planned learning activities on the subject of disability awareness may be more likely to adopt caring practices and attitudes. The kinds of skills that I know graduates of this program will demonstrate that are indicative of their sensitivity to the interests of a caring community include increased critical self-reflection, an ability to describe new understanding with regard to the value of the service being provided, increased communication abilities and professional behaviors, changes in assumptions about members of the population receiving services and their families, and increased professional activity in response to interactions with service users. In my mind, these are the practices that David Foster Wallace was asking each of us to embrace as professionals. The really important kind of freedom involved in being able to truly care about other people in the practice of living a compassionate life. I am lucky enough to be the first occupational therapy educator to have statistical evidence demonstrating the fact that you are people who are indeed compassionate and that your compassion and sensitivity to the caring community increase significantly during the time you spent in our program. Hold on to that growth and nourish it through self-reflection, professional development, and continuing education. Demonstrate it through charitable acts, including those that involve alumni giving, and contribute to the development of this program as a testament to the values instilled in you here. Share your knowledge, skills, and time with those who can benefit from you professionally and personally. That is real freedom. I would like to close today with the words of a personal favorite of mine by the internationally renowned storyteller Dr. Seuss, who was born in Springfield and lived much of his life here. This is from Oh, the Places You'll Go. I encourage all of you to read it in full. I never tire of the inspiration and humor I gain from this simple rhyme. So be sure when you step with care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. Never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up your right foot with your left. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So, be your name Bucks Bomber, Bixby, or Bray, or Mordecai Allen, Van Allen, O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Professor Sarah Waters, who will explain the significance of the pinning ceremony.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. As I've been introduced multiple times now, I'm Professor Sarah Waters, and I'm honored to be speaking this afternoon. During my tenure here at AIC, I've attended multiple pinning ceremonies, and I have to admit it's my favorite event of the year. For those of you who have never attended a pinning ceremony, I felt that it was fitting to describe the reason for why this is such a monumental moment in your loved one's life. Pinning ceremonies originated in the profession of nursing and quickly were adopted throughout other healthcare professions. Pinning ceremonies are intended to be much more intimate than graduation and symbolize the official initiation into a profession, and in this case, occupational therapy. This is a rite of passage that you should be proud of, and one that the faculty, we are honored and so proud of all of you to welcome you into our profession. As of today, and the completion of the fieldwork you have left, you are no longer students, but now colleagues. I am confident in speaking on behalf of the entire faculty in saying that we are so proud of you and honored to be working with you all in the future. So, now that we are all officially considered colleagues in 2 months, I want to remind you of some of the responsibilities that you now must uphold as an occupational therapist. So after you complete your fieldwork, you must then pass the NBCOT examination. However, I want you to feel that you are well prepared and you will be successful. After these milestones are completed, you must remember that as a professional, there are some responsibilities that you must fulfill. Some of the more formal responsibilities include completing the required number of continuing education credits that is determined by your state, renewing your licensure in each state in which you work, renewing your NBCOT certification every 3 years, and of course, following our profession's code of ethics. It is also important that you put the safety and well-being of your clients first. Provide the best possible care you can for each individual, and be respectful of each person with which you work. While your professional responsibilities may seem to be overwhelming at this point, I have a few more to include. Remember that documentation is key, and if you don't document it, it didn't happen. As a new practitioner, it is also important to advocate for your profession, help grow your body of literature, and help train our future professionals. So with that being said, in approximately a year from now, you will be hearing from Dr. Barlow to take some level 2 students. So now that I've emphasized the many responsibilities you now have accepted by entering into the profession, would you like some good news? Okay, I would assume yes. So for those of you who probably learned a great deal about occupational therapy as your graduate was completing this program, you may have had some questions that have come along the way. One of the questions might have been, was this a good career choice? Will he or she find a job? Will they continue to be able to grow? And maybe, most importantly, will they be able to pay back their student loans? So I have some good news. The Bureau of Labor and Statistics reported in 2014 that the employment in occupational therapy is expected to grow 27% from the year 2014 to the year 2024, which is much faster than many other professions. This growth is partially due to a large baby boom generation aging and wanting to remain active later in life. The variety of settings that you will work in and occupational therapists are hired to work in has also increased, affecting our professional growth. There are also many emerging areas of practice which you've learned about, such as telehealth, that are expanding job opportunities. U.S. News World and Report list of best healthcare jobs in 2016 ranked occupational therapy as number 17. They ranked each profession based on salary, job market, future growth, stress, and work-life balance. With over 30,000 projected new jobs in the next 10 years and the unemployment rate of only 1% throughout our country, I think you made a good choice. Finally, Forbes rated occupational therapy as being the third best job in healthcare due to a low level of stress, a good work environment, moderate amounts of physical demand, and a median salary of over $72,000 per year, with a projected 33% job growth by the year of 2020. Good choice, right? So now that you understand how important today is, and the responsibilities that you now all commit to, and the amazing future you all have as occupational therapists, I would like to call up the faculty to present the pins to each of our graduates.
Why don't you all stand so everybody can see how wonderful you all are as we call your name, and you can walk across the stage. Shivani Amin. Bonita Austin. Renita Bachu. Alexandra Billert. Sarah Bogdan. Ryan Beaujolais. Robert Burns. Chelsea Finley. Brianna Gladu. Marley High. Jillian Hemming. Cheyenne Howard. Andrew Katz. Kaylee McKitchen. Camille Neary. Cindy Wynn. Olga Opanasevich. Anne Marie O'Shea. Franzdine Pamphile. Troy Ridgway. Jalissa Rosario. Brian Rusin. Lucas Testa. Alexandra Valentino. Ashley Williams. And there's one more member of this graduating class that I'd like to recognize, but he could not be with us today, and that is Dinesh Kanaki. He's also graduating. And let's give them all a round of applause again.
Good afternoon. Welcome all family, friends, faculty, and fellow colleagues. I would first like to say that I am both humbled and honored to address so many of you today. I am beyond grateful for this opportunity, and I thank my fellow colleagues and educators for allowing me such an incredible privilege. I'd also like to take a moment to thank all of you for joining us on such a special day, a day that is likely to be one of the most memorable days of our lives. I think I speak for all of us when I say that our achievements could not have been possible without the help, support, and guidance from our family, friends, and significant others. To these mentors, I say, our success is your success, for you have given us the courage to venture, the inspiration to excel, and the belief that we can succeed. You have found faith in our doubts and have encouraged us to proceed even through the murkiest of waters. For all these things, we, the class of 2016, thank each and every one of you. I would like to extend our sincerest and deepest gratitude to our educators here at AIC. Knowledge is only useful when shared, and I thank you all for bestowing your knowledge upon us. With your support and guidance over the years, we have been able to build a strong foundation of knowledge in which we can now begin to expand and grow as entry-level occupational therapists. You have paved the road for us, and your dedication not only to your students, but to your profession as you continue to educate future generations of occupational therapists is admirable. It is still so surreal that we have actually made it to this day. A day that seemed at times so vastly beyond our reach. A dream that was obstructed by this massive mound of demands, expectations, and responsibilities. A dreamlike day that we can now finally call a reality. I'll never forget the day that my acceptance letter arrived in the mail. Standing in my kitchen, I timidly opened the letter and was both elated and relieved to discover that I had been accepted into the Masters of Occupational Therapy program. This day, I taped this very intimidating list of 30-plus classes that I had to take, and I taped it up on my wall. I began to cross off these classes as I completed them. At one point, about 2 years in, I looked over at that list, and I distinctly remember thinking, man, I can't wait for this to be over. I was spent, exhausted, drained. I dreaded continuing on, knowing that it was only going to get harder. I began to say things like, I'll feel better when I finish that paper, or I'll be happier when I get through exams, or I'll start to finally enjoy life when I finish school. But you see, I had this all wrong. Life was still happening to me, whether or not I was ready for it. It continued to happen to us even while we pursued this degree. And beautiful things happened. Some of us got engaged, some of us got married, some of us even had children. Life didn't stop or put itself on hold for us until we were ready. It just happened. That's the real lesson here, I think. We may have learned how to analyze and critique research. We learned every bone and muscle of the body. We stayed up all hours of the night writing papers, preparing for presentations, and mastering manual muscle testing and goniometry. But I think that the most valuable lesson I have learned is not one that can be taught in a classroom. It cannot be added to some sort of curriculum or studied in books. It is one that can only be learned through experience. And that is how important it is to remain present. We often forget to take in the joy and the beauty that surrounds us because we are so consumed by our responsibilities. The world offers itself to us in 1,000 ways. Each day offers us a new opportunity to learn, to grow, to feel. We must remain present and available if we wish to receive even a fraction of what is offered to us. We must start living while we're waiting, rather than waiting to live. Today may be the end of one journey, but tomorrow will be the beginning of a new one. There will be other successes, glories, or triumphs that we will pursue. Some of us may pursue a professional doctorate or PhD degree. Some of us may look to advance our career and take on leadership roles or start our own business. Some of us may look to start a family, pick up a new hobby, or just better ourselves as individuals. Whatever it is, whatever path you decide to embark on, I urge you to remember this lesson. Remember that life is not a sprint to the finish line in an attempt to accumulate the most achievements. It is a marathon, allowing you to take in the scenery as you continue steadfast in your life pursuits. Remember to cultivate mindfulness in your lives and to construct meaning from your experiences. I'd like to congratulate the MSOT class of 2016. This is such a large milestone, and it should be recognized for its immense significance. The late nights, early mornings, the deadlines, the demands, the sacrifices, it has finally paid off. I commend each and every one of you for your virtuosity and perseverance to see such a rigorous feat through to the end. It stands as a testament of your commitment and personal accountability, and I know you will all employ these same levels of dedication and devotion as new occupational therapists. I'd like to close with a quote from Thich Nhat Hanh. Drink your tea slowly and reverently, as if it is the axis on which the world earth revolves. Slowly, evenly, without rushing toward the future. Live the actual moment. Only this moment is life. I thank you all for your presence today and for sharing in this moment with us. Congratulations to the Master of Occupational Therapy class of 2016. I hope this moment stays with you forever. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those wise words, Ashley. And I hope that you all remember, especially the part about being present. I can tell you as someone who's a little more seasoned than you are, shall I say, as a healthcare provider, that is very difficult to do as you go through life. So take those words to heart and really remember them. You get very easily caught up in your life and everything else that you do. It's hard to really be present. But I cannot end the program without letting you know of an exciting new program that we're launching in the fall. And I heard Ashley say that some of you may want to go on for a doctorate. So guess what? We are going to be launching a post-professional doctorate in occupational therapy this fall here at AIC. And if you are interested, and it's always good once you're in the mode to just keep going. I'm sure the families here with you will love to hear me say that. But the good thing about this program is that it is online. So wherever you are, you can be part of AIC's new doctorate in occupational therapy. And the doctorate is all about learning more about research, leadership, evidence-based practice, and so forth. So I hope that you think about that. It's always good, as I tell all students that I meet, it's always good to get all your advanced education out of the way when you are still young before you get involved in all those other great things that Ashley just mentioned. So just think about that. I know that you'll do great in your career. We do still have some refreshments outside if you'd like to mingle a little bit more. Otherwise, have a great evening, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you for coming. Oh, group photo.